Hello and welcome. These are horse racing selections for Friday, the 9th of February. I am Flat Cap Callum and I'm hoping you are all very, very well. That's how it feels this week to me. I don't know about anyone else, but from a horse racing perspective, that's the way I would express it. It's just not very interesting or exciting, and even when there does look like there's something could be slightly more interesting, exciting, I can't find much I'm interested in terms of from a value perspective. So we've Wednesday was 4 horses, £7. We had 2 placed. Thursday, yesterday, we had 4 horses. Doncaster got abandoned in an unexpected heavy snowstorm that left 2 at Lingfield. One managed to get to the front and faded, and the other one didn't look interested at all. So it's nothing really too much to cheer about. I mean, we're 2 days in and we're minus £6, so it's not like the end of the world because we've hardly bet anything. I'll be honest, I didn't get that much more excited about Friday. So I've got one bet Friday. I've put 5 horses in there. One of them is at the Kempton meeting that does have an inspection, but because it's a 5-horse Canadian, I was all right with the fact that if one non-runner goes, that will then basically convert it to a Yankee in essence. So I'm all right with that. It's when you have days like Thursday when half your bet is voided, then you end up losing loads if nothing comes back off the other 2. So so Friday's one bet, 2 at Wolverhampton. I mean, that tells you something. I've only got 2 at Dundalk, and one of them's a shorty. The Dundalk ones, more than usual, it looked really, really muddly in terms of form-wise. And so, I've just walked away from a lot of the Dundalk stuff, to be honest. So 2 Wolverhampton, 1 Kempton, 2 Dundalk, and if Kempton gets abandoned, it becomes 2 Wolverhampton, 2 Dundalk. And the extra double is actually on the 2 Wolverhampton horses. So that's what I think. There is... what else was going on? I didn't like anything at Chelmsford. I mean, smaller fields generally speaking, didn't like that. Maidan's not a great Friday night Friday afternoon for Maidan, so left that too. So I'm hoping we get the racing on at Newbury at the weekend, because the Betfair Hurdle's always a decent race and got quite a few bookies paying 6 and a couple paying 7 already if you look at the prices. So we are now in that bit where this is probably the last weekend where you really get horses that might run before Cheltenham, and so you do find it sort of slightly tapers off a little bit because people are keeping their powder dry. I say people, watch out for Christian Williams. First winner in a while, and it was a few at Huntingdon I was looking at that I didn't do anything on the channel for, but. He had a horse 16-1 winner. Gavin Sheehan was riding it. If you look at the recent form, nothing. If you go back to the Irish form, the horse was fairly well in. But I didn't want to put it up on the channel because it was one of them ones. It was going to pop at some point, and today was the day. But you'd be betting it blind really to know when it was going to pop. But I think well worth now. That sort of might be the marker in the stand to keep an eye back on Christian Williams' horses. He's getting, especially some of his staying chases and stuff. Keep your eye out. All right. So, I did the review, didn't I? But the review of Thursday was 9 on, and then we got 240 back in refunds, and then we lost 660. It was just annoying because so much more of that stake got lost on that Yankee because we had 2 voided horses. So it puts us minus £6.46. I think £6.46 for the week. So we really need something to cheer us up a little bit, I think. It's just hard going. So here we go. There we go. Right. So we're going to start at the 407. So late start. Wolves light up our stars. Been a regular 16s. We like the look of that today. 437 Bow Vintage 22. So there was 2 between in that race. One suddenly got quite a lot shorter. So definitely Bow Vintage was the easy pick in the end, and that's where the extra double is going to go. The 450 is the bumper race at Kempton. Night Stalkers is probably should be about a tens. There won't be a lot of betting activity night before. But if the racing goes ahead, I expect it to come in a bit. But it's probably one that could get under the radar, to be fair. So I don't think it'll come in loads, but I would price it at tens. And then at Dundalk, we're going to 6 o'clock. Lieberland 11-2, shorty, but hopefully solid enough for a top four. And then 7:30, I've gone for Arctic Blaze, John McConnell horse. It had a long layoff, and last time it definitely looked like it was sparking back up, and that was over Marlin 2 and a bit, and this is mile and a half, and I think mile and a half's optimum conditions. So it's either one of those ones where it's going to continue where it went off on the last run, and it'll run a really nice race, or it just completely flop for no reason, and you're like, well, that was not coming back to form again. So that's that. So 10p each way Canadian, 50p each way singles on the 4 better prices, and then a 40p each way double on the Wolverhampton pair. Takes us to £10 for the bet for the day. Sky come out best. They are 5 on both those Dundalk races, 4 on both the Wolves races, so they win out. And then you want 365 if you're getting best odds guaranteed in the accumulator. Then Hills, 888, Unibet, Betfred, Betway, who are all 4 on everything except 3 on the Kempton race. The watch out is of the regular bookies I would mention on here is Paddy. Paddy are only 3 on the Wolverhampton races, so you probably want to avoid Paddy if you can help it, because there's other bookmakers paying 4 places on those. That's the bet. Mention on the golf, Nacho Elvira, the only golfer this week. Again, not the most interesting golf, is it? One golfer. He started off reasonably well. He's a couple of shots really from the main frame. So yeah, we'll see how Nacho gets on round 2. That's that. And then the only other thing tonight's video is Tips the League. So Tips the League results, because I only did a quick video this morning. So Tips the League results, 63 entries, same as the week before. Only 13 made profit, which is particularly low by channel standards. 45 lost everything. So apart from the person who scored the top score for the week, it was a predominantly very low score. So lowest scoring week we've had. Shout out as I say always, sometimes I don't mention his name, but shout out to Stephen King, Statman, who does tons of stuff for me in the background with all the stats for Tips League. It's absolutely critical, I would say, for going through his set of results and stuff. It's really, really helpful. So thank you very much, Stephen, for continuing to do that out of the kindness of your heart. But Stephen flagged to me, this is the first week, if you combined everybody's selections together and put blind staking on them, the actual entrance to the Tips League would have lost this week. All of January, they would have won. But for February, that first week of February, that we would have lost. So, without further ado, the winner, clear winner for last week was Shane and O'Brien, £100. I didn't write a note on that. I think that's because I think he had 10 on the nose on Nickelback. I think that's what it was. Correct me if I'm wrong, Shane or Stephen. Either way, if that's not the right one. So £100 profit he made. And then literally then we get down into small figures already. So Robin Wilson was second best of the whole entire week, but only got 24 quid. Mark Dreyfus returning to the Tips League, £17.30. Patrick Langford, who's been a previous winner this year so far, 15. Ed Trainer 9, and then you kind of get all the way down, and it was just a few quid. And most of the top 10 overall, the overall top 10 didn't do much. So the overall top 10 has really hardly moved. So Shosman is still playing the catch me if you can game. It's very shrewd. It's like he won one great week and he's just left it, and he's consciously leaving it, right? Think about this as a strategy. That's like saying, I'm going to play the lottery, and on the second week of you playing the lottery, you win £1,000. Stop playing the lottery. Makes sense. You've beat the house. You've got a massive advantage. You beat the house. Why carry on playing? So I imagine Shosman will probably just carry on this nice, clever tactic until a couple of people get within reach. But Shosman's on top, didn't play, 320. Des Gibbons did play, lost a 10, so he's down to 293.40. So he's now about 27 quid behind. And then you've got a big drop. Mike Fletcher 136. Adam Essat 114. I think the only movement was John P 3,500 has just swapped places with Dominic Carver. And then you're right back down. And the rest of the top 10 is the same. Albeit most people lost in there. So the scores overall have dropped down. So that is that. Tips League's back on Saturday. Hopefully we've got some good racing. It don't get abandoned from waterlogging or snow or anything else. Tornadoes, I don't know. That would be good. And then what's this, Thursday night? So not sure yet. I'll let you know whether it's going to be a Friday night video or a Saturday morning video with Saturday selections. And was one of the things I was going to say as well. Yeah, I mentioned this on my anti-post video, Cheltenham anti-post video, and then I think it might be in Fraser. We've got a few phrases on the channel, but one of the phrases I think wrote in the comments tonight about it is unbelievable how many anti-post video like YouTube always comes alive a little bit with anti-post stuff, but this year it feels like there is saturation out there. There is so many regular kind of channels that just do Cheltenham and go loads of Cheltenham, and then there's loads of other like people popping up who are kind of new to YouTube and stuff. It is amazing. Really is amazing how many people do Cheltenham stuff. And I know if I did loads of Cheltenham stuff, I'd get a spike in views. I'm as you know, I'm not fussed in terms of it's people want to watch the stuff, but I don't do things for views, right? So I don't make jazzy thumbnails and shocking clickbaity titles on my videos and all that kind of stuff. I'm not fussed about it, but yeah, it is amazing how big Cheltenham is. Like particularly when I remember talking to like someone a while ago about who didn't know much about horse racing, but they understood about Cheltenham and Ascot, and they're the same thing. And it's like they are so far away a thing. Like in horse racing circles, there is so much more excitement about Cheltenham than there is about Ascot. But yeah, so I apologise if you want loads more content from me on Cheltenham. There's plenty out there. I've given you my alternative anti-post video. We'll just cook along with that. But yeah, it's amazing how many different types of video there can be saying about how not many horses ran at the DRF at the weekend, and now which of the 2 or 3 horses at the top of the market is likely to be. Yeah, I'd love it if there was more people just genuinely talking about massive outsiders and things like that. But at this point, you don't want to be backing the favourites at Cheltenham. Like it don't make sense, because there's only a few more bits and bobs of form that are going to go in before the price. The price is not going to move loads. So unless you're pretty savvy about working out which horses might get pulled out of which races, there's no point doing like loads of win multiples and stuff. And if you get a non-runner no bet, right? Yeah, I can kind of see it a little bit, but for a lot of it you're not going to get much more value now. It's the ones that the stuff where people try and be clever and find a big price lurking in there, but putting out money now on Cheltenham on kind of the favourites or the first, second, or third in the market and stuff. It's a very, very hard game. And then if you're betting each way in some of the big races, and I see people tipping up horses in handicaps and stuff, it's like a lot of them now you can only get 3 places. Some will be 4 places. On the actual day, a lot of those handicaps you'll get 6 places. So that makes a considerable difference in terms of from a place term point of view. So that's why I've made the decision to not do any anti-post handicaps this year. I kind of do it. I've done a little bit the last couple of years, a bit funsy, but it's not really a savvy way of kind of doing it, because you're losing out on the extra place terms. It's like today. It's like me saying, right, the best bet today is Sky Bet, but then everyone going and putting it on with Bet Victor. Why'd you do that? The price is the same, but the place terms are poor. So why would you do that? Don't do that. So yeah, I don't know. It's just musing. I think it's really interesting. I find it really interesting how it all evolves and stuff. And don't get me wrong, I've watched a few bits and stuff of people's Cheltenham outposts. More because I'm just interested to sort of see different people's styles and see if anyone is going to go and pick any road things. And some of the people who are out there presenting stuff, some really good people. I really enjoy some of the kind of the newer folk on the circuit in terms of what they're doing. There's some it's different. It's not what I'm doing, because it's not tipping and profit and loss and all that sort of stuff. It's just general chitter chatter about each race and stuff. But there is definitely some entertaining folk out there. So if you haven't had a little bit of a search, it's worth having a look. Cheltenham Festival 2024 and seeing what different channels you can come across. Some of it not for me at all. I think what you see a lot of at the moment is this kind of the four people talking, four screens and stuff like that, and it's sort of interview. And I think the ones I think I prefer are the ones where you tend to find there's a couple of people just having a chat, and it's like two people who have got a good view and have got some knowledge, just having a chat. Those sort of ones I think come across well, as opposed to, you know, and I did a bit the old, you know, back last year with freebets.com, but just that kind of going through a few people in a slightly staged thing. But then that's how you do it on the cheap, isn't it? You do 4 multiple screens as opposed to get yourself in a studio and do interviews and stuff like that. But I think there's a lot of value in some of these people that are lurking on YouTube channels, getting more airtime on kind of more terrestrial television stuff, and just putting across a few different views, because on terrestrial telly it's it's like flooded with ex-jockeys, and ex-jockeys are brilliant. They'll give you all sorts of insight, but then there's people that come at it from different angles, and that's what I think there should be a lot more of on mainstream television. The people that weren't jockeys but generally are just good studies of form, like that would be an interesting thing to see. Anyway, wasn't expecting to go on a little monologue there about Cheltenham Festival videos, but I don't even know what point I was making of it. There's a lot of them, more than there ever has been, and some of them are good and some of them are not good. But yeah, actually, let's make this a point. I'll actually get to a point of this one. If for those of you who are watching and who watch some of that Cheltenham stuff, if you've got channels and stuff that you like, feel free just to drop in the comments stuff. Be interested to see what other people are into. So yeah, if you've been watching certain series and stuff that you like and you want to watch and stuff, then drop it in the comments so other people can kind of see what other recommendations there are about stuff to watching. Because I'm not fussed about, you know, there's lots of stuff out there, and what I do is a bit different, so I'm not kind of, you know, worried about people switch it over or whatever. It's Cheltenham specific content. So yeah, if you've been watching certain series on Cheltenham and you're really enjoying them, for whatever reason, feel free to drop it in the comments and share it with other folk, and let them know what you like, and recommendations. All right, that's me. I'm off to bed. Thank you very much. See you Friday night or Saturday morning. Not sure yet when. Let's hope we have a little bit more luck on Friday. Maybe even get 5 horses run, which would be the first time that's happened this week. But, you know, let's not count our chickens. Okay. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.